students, myself Srikanto Sren from George Group of Colleges. Again I am presenting you the paper Cybersecurity, and this is my class number 6. We'll start with what is cybercrime. Cybercrime is a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer or a computer network or a networking device. Basically, it uses the devices present in the cyber world to do some criminal activity. Now question is, why the criminals does this kind of activity? The main reason is to make some profit, either by making money or using by some ransom or whatever may be. So this is the concept of cybercrime. Use the devices present in the cyber world and do some crime. Basically it targets your digital data. Like one is your physical data, that is your money, the ornaments that you have, and another is your digital data like user ID, password. So cyber criminals basically targets your digital data. Cybercrime can be categorized into two ways. One is the computer as a target, another one the computer as a weapon. Using in the first one, the computer as a target, where using a computer to attack another computer. That means you are using one computer to attack another computer. And the second one is you are using a computer as a weapon to attack another device. What kind of thing? Like suppose you are using your computer to perform some cyber terrorism. Like many of the country, they have solar systems, and that is connected to the electric grid. And cyber terrorism means the attacker tries to poison that grid with some viruses or somehow make it halt. Like credit card frauds, you are using computer to make credit cards. So these are two things. One is the computer as a target, the second one is the computer as a weapon. Next one is unauthorized access and hacking. Suppose you have a Facebook account, correct, and I do not know your user ID and password, and somehow I was able to post some pictures from your account without knowing your user ID and password. Is it possible? It is not possible, but it is extremely difficult to perform. So if this is possible, then that is called the unauthorized access and hacking, correct? Suppose your result is published in the website and you got a marks called say 89, and if you somehow can you will be able to change that marks 89 to 99, that is called unauthorized access, because you are not supposed to change the marks, you can only view the marks. If you can change that marks, that is called the unauthorized access and hacking. Next one is web hijacking. Web hijacking means there the owner loses control of that website, and malicious hacker becomes the owner of that website and can perform whatever that owner the malicious attacker wants, correct? So this is the concept of web hijacking. Now if you think of the Facebook, it is of in a color blue color, and you cannot change it to red color. If attacker be able to change that blue color into red color all over the world in Facebook, that is called the web hijacking, correct? So the Facebook owner has no control about this color present in the Facebook, so you change it into red color. Next one is pornography and child pornography. Everybody is aware of this. I'm not going to discuss too much about this one, but India banned lots of sites in recent years so that students can concentrate more on studies, and the youth are never deviated from their goal. So this is a concept of cyber crime. Next one is cyber stalking. In general terms, stalking can be termed as a repeated act of harassment, targeting the victim, such as following the victim, making harassing phone calls. Now following the victim means you make a phone call to a particular number. After a few days you find that the phone number is changed to another number, and you somehow find that number and start making phone call again. Now the victim changed that phone number 10 times, and 10 times you identified that phone number and start making phone calls. That is called cyber stalking. Next one is making harassing phone calls, killing the victim's pet. How will know that that is the pet of the victim? Because you can see the picture of that pet in the Facebook page, and you can identify that pet, and one day you kill that pet with some poison. So these kind of things are part of cyber stalking. And cyber stalking can be of online as well as offline. Now there is another term called cyberbullying. Mostly teenagers, the school students, the college goers are affected by this cyberbullying. What happens? In your social media account, you get this kind of message: "Oh, you are fat, you are ugly, no one likes you, there is no friend in you, friend in your class, you are a loser." So this kind of affects the mind of that teenager. So this kind of thing is called a cyberbullying. That means somebody is trying to upset the mindset of that teenager using the help of cyber world. This is the concept of cyberbullying. Next one is denial of service attack. Now what is the concept of denial of service attack? In denial of service attack, the legitimate user uh, is not able to access the actual service. Suppose I have a bank account in State Bank of India, and somebody attacks that State Bank of India web server. So what will happen? You'll find that the State Bank India web server is down for a few hours. I need to transfer some money immediately from my account to my brother's account. As the server is down, I cannot do that. So I am a legitimate customer. Being a legitimate customer, the bank server is denying me the actual service. This happens in real life. How? Think of when your result is published. You'll find that some of you get the result, some of you did not get the result. What happens actually? The server is not responding you properly. The concept is server can accept request of say maximum say 25,000, and there is a request of around say 2 lakhs in a particular instance. So what will happen? The server is flooded with lots of messages or lots of packets, and when the server says I cannot handle this number of packets, the server halts, and I want to see my result but I cannot get that, because that is the concept of denial of service attack. Recently another term is coined, that is called the distributed denial of service attack. Definitely we will learn this in the next slides. Another one is virus attack. What happens? The virus maker creates some viruses or malicious software and send it to you either by mail or by pen drive. Once you install that application, say suppose a virus maker creates a virus that is embedded into a Word file. So they will give you a Word file. When you click that Word file, it will open, but in the background the virus will start performing its action, and it will do some malicious activities. Like you will find that whatever you are typing in the MS Word documents, all are dropping like raindrops, or the computer screen is inverted, or suddenly you will find that it is running very slow, or you may find that suddenly your data is exhausted. Like you have 2 GB of data per day, but you will find that after 30 minutes it says 2 GB of data is exhausted, or you will find that your device is saying the storage area is full, you need to clear the storage area. All these are symptoms of virus attack. Okay, I am showing you one picture of DOS attack, where you are a legitimate customer and you want to access the bank server. Now what the malicious actor does, that means they use a botnet. Botnet is basically a intelligent software that infect lots of computers and take control of those computers, correct? And from these control computers and from these control computers, all computers start sending the packet to the actual server. So what happens, it can handle maximum say your request, but when it is flooded with lots of requests, the server will stop and will not be responding. This is the example of DOS attack. Okay, in this picture you will find the picture of a WannaCry virus. What happened with that virus? This virus affected your computer and locked your hard disk and all the folders present in your computer. So what will happen? You cannot access your hard disk or any folder present in your computer. The solution is, the virus will give you a Bitcoin address. This Bitcoin address, you can see the Bitcoin address, and it will ask you to transfer money into that Bitcoin address. Once you transfer that money into Bitcoin address, they may open your computer folders or may not open. So this is the concept of a virus. How this is affected? So this is the kind of malicious activity by the virus. Another cybercrime is software piracy. Okay, as you know, software are of two kinds. One is free software, another one is say paid software. Like your Windows is a paid software, MS Office is a paid software, like your Android, a free software. So when you ask somebody, just install the operating system in my computer, there are two ways. Either you have the original CD or the DVD of that Windows operating system, or you can ask somebody with some money, say 500 rupees, and install that operating system in your computer. Like MS Office software, it costs around 15,000 rupees, but most of us don't have that original CD of MS Office software. So what we do, we give somebody 500 rupees and ask them to install all Windows and MS Office in our computer. So this is a kind of software piracy. What happens with the organization, like when you purchase the operating system from Microsoft, they give you a CD with CD key, and on behalf they collect some money from you, and that money goes to the development of Microsoft. So when you buy, if you purchase a genuine software and there is a damage there, that software, and there is a problem with the software, the organization will definitely give you support. Suppose I purchase a genuine Windows software and some way the operating system corrupts, so Microsoft will give me definitely support because I have the original CD with me. But if you purchase, instead of purchasing, if you take that software in a pirated way, you don't give the service from the organization. Next one is salami attacks. In salami attacks, what happened? A small portion of the amount is siphoned from one account to another account. Imagine a bank has 5 crores of customer, and from each customer some small program is deducting just rupees 5 a month to a particular account. This is negligible. You may overlook it, but this is the kind of attack that siphoned huge amount of money from everybody's account to a particular email account.